Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to make a tricolor quinoa recipe. Very simple, easy for those who are on a plant-based or vegan, even keto diet. This is going to be very suitable for you. It's very healthy, very low carbs and everything, so it's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and measure 1 cup of quinoa into this measuring cup, okay? So it's going to be 1 cup. Make sure that it's full all the way to the top. Okay. And I'm going to make this in the rice cooker because it's more simple. I don't have to be on top of the stove and scared that it's going to get burned. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup of quinoa to my rice cooker. Okay. 1 cup of quinoa. So this recipe calls for 2 cups of water per every 1 cup of quinoa. So I'm going to go ahead and add hot water. Okay. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead, make sure the water is very hot, and then I'm going to add it to the quinoa, which is already in my rice. As you can see over here. So as you can see, the water is very hot, so I'm going to add 1 cup. I'm going to go and add 2 cups, okay? This, you can go ahead and use any oil like avocado or olive oil. I like to use avocado. It gives it extra flavor. Keeping in mind, avocado oil raises your good cholesterol, so this is actually very good, especially if you're vegan, if you're on keto diet or plant-based diet. I think avocado oil is the way to go. But if you don't have any avocado oil, olive oil is fine as well. So it's going to be at about 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and measure the avocado oil with this measuring spoon. Okay, if you don't have a measuring spoon, you can just calculate it more or less. It doesn't have to be exact. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. Okay, that should be just about enough. Okay, so now I'm going to add the spices. So I'm going to go add a little bit of garlic salt, about, I would say, half of a teaspoon, because you don't want it to be too salty. So this, I'm not going to measure it with the spoon. I'm just going to kind of calculate it. Okay, I don't want it to be too salty, so just about that much, which is roughly at about half a teaspoon. This is garlic with parsley and it's salt free, so I'm gonna add just about a pinch of that. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add some onion powder. I would say it's about half a teaspoon of the onion powder. You don't want it to be overpowering, as I only added 1 cup of quinoa, and the measurements go based on how much quinoa you're going to do. So now I'm gonna grab my silicone spatula and mix this and put it in the rice cooker to cook. Okay, as you can see, I'm gonna show you how it looks. You see, we added the avocado oil, the hot water, the garlic salt, the garlic with parsley that is salt free, and a little bit of onion powder. So we're just gonna mix it a little bit, okay? And that should be just about good enough to put it into the rice cooker to cook. Okay, so quinoa is in the rice cooker already. I'm gonna go ahead and press a button to start cooking, okay? This is gonna take from 12 to 15 minutes more or less. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and make some sausages with like a little light sauce, and I'm gonna walk you through the process on how to do that. So I'm gonna have that as a side dish for the quinoa. Okay, so while the quinoa is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping up in little slices about 5 sausages. Okay, any kind is fine. I'm gonna grab just about 5 and cut them up into little slices. I usually wash them a little bit with just a little bit of water. Take off a little bit of the salt, okay? Okay. Let me go ahead and put this away. And I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through this wonderful process on how to make sausages in a light sauce. It's very easy, and then this is what I'm gonna have as a side dish for the quinoa. You can use any sausage. It could be plant-based, it could be regular sausage, it could be Italian sausage, it could also be American sausage. Any sausage is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I have my sausages here, and I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing them. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my 5 sausages, okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing them, okay. You can also pair the quinoa with tostones or like sweet plantains if you like them. You can pair it with just about anything. I happen to like sausage. Any sausage is fine. I like the plant-based sausages a lot. There are different ones. I like the ones that are not spicy. Anything plant-based I consider to be a little healthier. Especially if you're like trying to lose weight and everything, it's just perfect. I happen to be making this recipe a little bit different. The only thing that's going to be plant-based is going to be the quinoa, and then sausage, I'm using regular sausage, but you can also use any vegan or plant-based sausage is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and start heating up the skillet now that my sausages, as you can see here, are already chopped up, okay, and ready to put on the warm skillet with just a little bit of avocado oil. We're also going to add a little bit of hot water to it to make sure we take off a little bit of the sodium. You don't want your recipe to be loaded with a lot of salt, because too much salt or too much of anything is just, you know, not good for you. So I try to watch the amount of salt that I add to the food. So I'm going to make this very easy process for you guys can see how it is that I do the sausages with the sauce to have it as a side dish for the quinoa. Okay, so I have my skillet that is warming up, okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and add just about a half a teaspoon of the avocado oil. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of calculate that, okay, just about half a teaspoon, not a lot, okay, as I don't want this to be too greasy. And I'm gonna go ahead, once it's warm enough that you kind of hear it sizzling, but it's not to the point where you're gonna have oil splattering. When it's just about warm enough, I'm gonna go ahead and add the sausages. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and slowly start adding the sausages, okay, just making sure I do it slowly, okay. I don't want stuff, the oil splattering anywhere. Okay. Just slowly, I'm gonna go ahead and add it into my skillet. Okay. And then let me grab my silicone spoon, which is if I don't scratch the skillet, is the reason why I like to use a silicone spatula. Okay, so I lowered the heat to 2 just because I didn't want oil splattering anywhere, because it was already getting a little bit too hot. I'm gonna go ahead and raise the heat to about medium heat, which is between a 5 and a 6. Once the sausage starts changing color, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of hot water, and a little bit of white wine. Okay, and after that simmers a little bit, we're gonna add just about a tablespoon and a half of organic ketchup, and that's gonna create a light sauce for our sausages. Okay. So I'm gonna start getting the hot water ready. Let me show you the sausages. As you can see over here, they're already kind of starting to change color. Okay, so I already added the hot water to the sausages. I'm gonna go ahead and let it simmer. As you can see over here, I have it between it's a medium heat, about a 5 or a 6 more or less is what it is. Okay, so as you can see, I have the sausages here simmering with hot water and the little bit of avocado oil that we added, which is about a tablespoon of the oil. Okay, if you don't have avocado oil, that is fine. You can use olive oil or any oil that you have is fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding the white wine just in a little bit. I'm gonna let it simmer for about like 2 more minutes, and then I'm gonna add the white wine, and I'm gonna see how the quinoa is doing as well. Okay, so let's check on the quinoa to see how it's doing. As you can see over here, it's still boiling, but it's quite not ready yet. Quinoa does have a special process to doing it. If you don't do it right, it's gonna be sticky, or it's gonna be too runny, like it's gonna be like kind of raw. You're gonna have like little pieces of like raw quinoa. It tastes like little rocks, like pieces of sand. You don't want it to be that way. So once the quinoa is fully cooked, you have to let it you have to go ahead and let it cool off for about 10 minutes or so, and then you're gonna slightly go around it with a fork. Just make sure that it's a fork. It's not a spoon, it's not your silicone spatula. It has to be a fork, because you want to make sure that the quinoa is very loose. Okay, so that's kind of the process to making the quinoa. It's gonna be ready shortly. Okay, as you can see, the sausages are already boiling. Okay, I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit, as I can see too much smoke coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and lower it a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and add about 1/3 of a cup of white wine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead measure the white wine, about 1/3 of a cup, which is gonna be not too much. It's gonna be at around there. As you can see, 1/3 of a cup of white wine. I'm gonna go ahead and add it here to the sausages. Okay, since it's not a lot, we can't really add like 1/2 cup or anything like that. Obviously, if you're doing more than 5 sausages, you can go ahead and add about 1/2 cup or a little bit more than 1/2 cup, maybe like 1/8 of a cup. You can go ahead and add it. So it also it depends on the amount of sausage that you're cooking. I added 1/3 of a cup because I only add 5 sausages here. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and add our organic ketchup. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how the sausages are looking. Okay, now that I added the water, as you can see here, it's boiling. We're gonna add it just like that. I'm gonna show you the process. Okay, the quinoa is just about ready. It just stopped, but the sausages are not ready yet. So while the quinoa is cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of ketchup to make the sauce for our sausages. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix it. Okay. And we're gonna crank up the heat to 6 more or less, because we want the sausages to brown, to have like a little light brown sauce. So if we leave it too low, it's just gonna not have the right consistency, and you want it to be just right. So I'm going to show you right now how it looks. As you can see here, it's boiling. We're going to leave it like that, okay? We're going to crank up the heat to around 6, okay? Just about there, okay? And we're going to cook this for about another 5 minutes. I'm going to put the timer for we don't lose track of the time. So I'm going to go ahead and crank up the heat to 5. Okay, so as you can see, the sausages already have the light sauce, okay? The timer is about to stop in just about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're gonna go ahead and turn off the timer, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and lower this to just about 4 for like another 2 minutes, and the quinoa is done. So I'm gonna go ahead and start scratching it with a fork. I'm gonna show you how it's done. Okay, so sausages are finally done. I just turned off the stove. Now we're gonna go and check on the quinoa. As you can see, the quinoa is done. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, scratch it lightly with a fork, as you can see here. Okay, so quinoa is done. I can go ahead and leave it in the rice cooker for just a little bit until I'm ready to serve it. I'm gonna show you how it looks already served. Okay, and this is my recipe for today: tricolor quinoa with sausages in a light sauce. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow me on my YouTube channel and go ahead and comment what recipes you would like me to go ahead and try out. Thank you for watching.